let's talk about 12 reasons that you're a single woman and it's your fault. Now, this article I very much enjoyed. It was just on medium.com, just some rando who was giving us their best cope, huffing that copium, and we're going to take that away. I don't like cope. I don't like it when people are in denial of reality and are pretending that these things aren't true when they are true, right? Especially in the way this is written, because this is sort of like false affirmations, and I hate them more than anything. You know, if you have to falsely affirm something is not true, stop doing it. You know, literally in the words of Marcus Aurelius, if it's not true, don't say it. Rico Riviera. Anyway, so 12 reasons you're still single even though you're a catch. Trust me, this is most definitely not your fault. Yes, it is. Take responsibility for your decisions. So, as for dating, a big number of women feel that the relationship gods, such as Cupid and others, are being veiled to them because they are a good catch, but still don't seem to get a suitable partner. Now, there we are. Good catch, suitable partner. They're the key parts that we're going to have to realign during this conversation. Most of them compare themselves to the people in their surroundings who are in a relationship or are happily married and believe they've been cursed since they do not have someone to spend their lives with. You're stunning. Why are you single? People lie to you. If people around you ask this question and you don't know how to answer it, don't put all the blame on yourself. Instead, look at the following list, see if you can figure out what's lacking in your life. I love this. Don't blame yourself. Why? Whose responsibility is it for you taking control of your life and taking responsibility for your life? No, take responsibility. It is your fault.
They're meant to give me a wife.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
that for women.
Yeah, exactly. Where was my state-mandated husband, right? So we're going to go through these without pulling any punches. And I realize there are people like, but you never do this for men. Send me the articles. Send me the articles where men are huffing the copium over whatever it is they're coping over. I'm happy to go through those and pull no punches on those too. It's just that people send me these ones and say, yeah. May as well go through it. So, number 1, you have more urgent priorities right now. Do you? Do you, ladies? Do you really have more urgent priorities? It's not a terrible thing if you've been concentrating on other significant goals, whether daily or yearly, personal or business. If you can't commit to a relationship because you have more essential priorities, that's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's admirable of you to be forthright. It's beneficial. If you have other things to accomplish in your everyday life, don't put them off only for a relationship. There's a high probability you're fixated on them for a reason. But do you have more urgent priorities? I mean, I don't want to be rude about it, but the clock is ticking, ladies, right?
But also you can put that in the context of someone's in a relationship and sort of arguing that they should give up the relationship they've got because, you know, their business is more important.
Yeah.
That's obviously not true.
Is it? Yeah, exactly.
So why would it be true when you're single?
Well, that's the point. And not only that, okay, let's assume that you think that your business or your career or whatever is important. Wait. Like, you're going to have decades and decades and decades of life where you're not able to sort of, you know, offer yourself up as a marriageable prospect. You know, you can work. You can work on your career then. It's not going anywhere, you know, and you've gained lots of life experience in the meantime, right? So get your career, get your actual personal life figured out first, then worry about your career. And this really, honestly, is pretty much an exclusively thing for women because of the way that nature has made us. You know, you can say, oh, it's not fair, it's not egalitarian. I agree. Anyway, number 2, you are contentedly single or you do not want to be in a relationship at all. Not everyone requires a companion to be happy. Some people rely on their friends, family, or pets to make them happy. Some folks simply require their own happiness everywhere they go. If you're happy the way you are, don't waste your time seeking a relationship. Yeah, but you wouldn't be reading this article if you were, would you? The reason you're reading this article is you're single, you're not happy about it. And I don't blame you.
Or writing it.
Or writing it, yeah, good point. So number 3, you're expecting to meet someone deserving of your fabulousness. You're magnificent, so why would you bother to be with someone who does not match you? Or perhaps you wait for your fellow soul and it will satisfy you and with nothing less. After all, how many dates and relationships are beneficial if you can't envisage a future with that person? Yeah, well, I mean, maybe you need to actually readjust your perspective. Are you as great as this woman is telling you that you are? I'm going to put money on you're not. The odds are you're average. And if you think you deserve more than the average, well, that is going to hold you back because you're going to dismiss the average that you should be aiming at because you're probably pretty average. And, you know, it's just life. Reevaluate, recalibrate your expectations to something reasonable is what we're saying. So number 4, you don't need a man to validate your life. You could occasionally think that it would be great to have a partner in crime, but don't spend all your time chasing after a man, nor does it feel awful. You rather live your life and don't allow it to turn to find anyone. This just seems like cope to me. You're lonely. You want to fulfill your biological imperative, just like the rest of us. There's no shame in admitting it, you know. You wouldn't be reading this article. You wouldn't be bothering with any of this if you weren't. Just cope. We're turning off the copium and we're looking at reality square in the face. You can't tolerate men's foolishness. To be honest, I may have a point here. This is not surprising. You aren't easily intimidated, and therefore you'll never put up with sexist or immature attitudes. You are intolerant to people who are manipulators, liars, hypocrites, cheaters, or anything else that identifies a fake person. But the question is, why are you cavorting with such people, right? Why are you such a bad judge of character that you find yourself surrounded by these kinds of people? I'm not surrounded by these kinds of people. I'm not surrounded by people who are considered to be manipulators, liars, hypocrites, or cheaters. Like, why is that the case, right? And as John rightly points out, you're probably using Tinder. Stop using Tinder. Tinder is not going to get you a relationship. What was your opinion on Tinder, Callum?
Whores.
There we go. But the point is, you're the one choosing these men. You're the one choosing who you associate with. Why aren't you choosing to associate with better people? Number 6. The childhood goal of finding a lovely prince has become a foolish daydream. You don't sit around waiting for him to come and save you. No, sir. You no longer fantasize about marrying a prince on a majestic white horse who will save you from all the horrors. Your genuine love will not appear in a fairy tale. You seek it in a deep and meaningful and successful relationship that entails much more than simply spending time with an attractive guy. When you grow up and set your fantasies aside, you realize how beautiful the surrounding people are with whom you spend more time and perhaps even have an occasional date. Now, this is actually a sensible point, right? You aren't looking for someone perfect. You're looking for someone decent. After realigning your views on yourself, you then have to realign your expectations of men. That's a fair point. So 1 out of 6 so far. Number 7, you intimidate a lot of men. You are conscious of your strength, and you will not downplay the significance of your objectives and accomplishments merely to make a guy feel inferior. Let alone behave as if you are ignorant and foolish to boost his confidence. Inferiority only exists if the guy shows it. If he instead loves, shares, and respects and encourages women to continue growing, there will never be a difference. What do you reckon to that, Callum?
The data, I think we went through this previously, shows that that's complete bunk. Men don't want high status women compared to them.
They don't want husbands.
Yeah.
They want wives.
Yeah.
Yeah. But moreover, look at the attitude here, though, right? Why are you trying to upstage the man that you want to date? It's not very nice. Like, yeah, I'm more Chad than you are. What? Why? Like, why? You know, I wanted a wife, you know? Like, it's, but the thing is, it's not considerate to him, right? Even if you imagine being the opening stages of your first couple of dates, and she's already like, yeah, I earn more than you, and stuff like that. We're like, okay. What? You know, why are you being inconsiderate? If you're not considerate to him then, what does he think you're going to be like after 5 years? You know, dating. You're not going to be a very nice person, are you? And no one wants to be with a person like that, male or female. So stop being like that, you know, and, you know, try being a bit considerate. Why am I trying to, you know, why am I going out of my way to make him feel inferior? It's not a good idea. But anyway, 8. You have an extensive network of friends and that distracts you from dating. This is one of my favourite bits of copium. You may be less eager to locate a lover at every cost when you're a social person and often meet with friends, neighbours, co-workers, and even strangers daily. I can hear John furiously typing. You wait for quality to arrive. In the meantime, enjoy your life in the company of those who love you. This is total cope, right? Because most people meet their partners through their network of friends. And if you aren't meeting your partner through your network of friends, then clearly there's a problem. You are probably not as popular as you think, especially as they all get older and pair up. Time is not a limitless resource here. Any thoughts? Don't use Tinder.
No, but also the thing you just said was true.
It is true. And there are various studies that show that most people find their relationship through their groups of friends. Anyway, number 9. You are too enthusiastic about the single life. It's hard to picture anyone else in the picture when your life is already great. Oh, yeah, my life is brilliant.
Oh, life's so good. That's why I'm totally not salty about not having a partner. Okay.
I'm such a great catch, nobody caught me. Well, you might want a partner. It's really weird explaining to myself why I'm such a great catch when no one wants to come near me. While you may want a partner, the reality is getting one will transform your life. There's nothing wrong with the modification, but you must do it on your own time as well. Yeah, well, again, you aren't gifted with infinite time. Time marches on. And if you squander your attractive, fertile, youthful years, then nature is not going to forgive you for it. Nothing you can do about that. Number 10, if you're still figuring out if you like the opposite gender or the same gender.
Oh, shut up.
If you're unsure about your sexual orientation, but you undoubtedly knew who you desired deep down, but you're reluctant to express it, take your time figuring it out, then be courageous enough to prove it. Look, right, if you're like in your 30s and you haven't figured out whether you're gay or not, Like,
Doesn't happen.
no, I don't believe it, right?
BS.
Yeah. Anyway, number 11, if you haven't moved on from your past relationship, it is that you are hesitant to embrace a new love because you're frightened of being hurt again or that you're hoping to reconcile with your ex. In the first circumstance, I'll advise you that each person acts differently, so don't generalize and believe that everyone will treat you the same way as your ex did, which is a fair point. If you're in the second position, strive to reconcile, but if the individual no longer loves you, you must let them go. Love yourself and your mental health. This is the second piece of good advice in these 12 points. This is good advice. If the relationship's over, move on. If it isn't, then fix it. But either way, stop dallying. Number 12, you simply aren't prepared yet. You're an adult woman. You've got a career, but you're not prepared for a relationship. God, imagine. In the last place, it's all fine for you to be honest and to acknowledge you're not ready to be in a relationship. You know that now is not the moment. You know yourself. Perhaps even on a subconscious level, you understand this. You're not willing to take these further measures because you're avoiding commitment. There's nothing wrong with that. You can take all the time in the world until you're truly ready. The sooner you acknowledge that the sooner you can prevent problematic interactions. Well, I guess if the problem is you, at least you can admit it. You know, that's good. You know, if you're not mature enough for what you think you're looking for, then you have to change, don't you? You, as a person, are not good enough as you are.
I don't get how you could be in your 20s and not mature enough to just be in a relationship.
I don't know. God, the way things are nowadays.
Kids these days, huh?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't know how to tell you, But this thing, if you think that you're not ready, well, then you need to change, don't you? If you want a relationship, I mean, don't get me wrong. If you want to be a spinster your whole life, go ahead. I don't care. Yeah. Well, no, great.
No, I just can't imagine someone being like, yeah, I just want to be alone forever.
Some people might, There's,
Hermits.
well, there's unironically a small area of Greece where women aren't allowed.
Is this the monk kingdom?
It's on the fingers. I can't remember the Greek name is, but coming out, I think there's a small portion of which women are banned. It's totally based.
Can men visit?
Well, men can, yeah.
Sounds like a funny holiday, to be honest.
Sounds like a great holiday.
You guys heard of gaming? Yeah, we game all the time.
Anyway, so why are you single if you're a catch? The answer is, of course, because you're not a catch. That's why. That's why you're single. If you were a catch, you'd have had your pick of the litter of men, and you'd have chosen the one you like, and you'd have been off, and everything would be great. You're probably not very impressive. You're probably quite average. Hate to say it. Hate to tell you. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's just life, right? But they say because gorgeous single females like you aren't scared to go through life alone or acknowledge they don't have anyone waiting for them at home. And this is just cope, isn't it? You're obviously not as gorgeous as you think you are.
Is this like female MGTOW?
Yes.
Right.
Kind of.
Is that a real thing?
No.
Oh.
No, it's female MGTOW cope, right? The point is, you're just normal, right? That's the thing. You're just normal. Most people are normal. It's okay to be normal, but you have to accept you're normal and realign your prospects. Right? You are well aware that spending time with the wrong person would simply postpone the prospect of meeting the right person. So you're not scared to be patient. Keep in mind that being single is a choice. Not for women in their 30s, it's not. Sorry, it's just not, right? And if you're perpetually single, you're not the one choosing that, Improve yourself as a dating prospect, Work harder on your personality, lose a bit of weight, try and be less of an asshole when you're going on dates. I don't know, be more sympathetic. But the clock is running out. You're not going to last forever. Rather than thinking of yourself as dissatisfied or impatient, take satisfaction in your decision. I like the stoicism there. Yeah, why don't you just say, actually, I can't be hurt if I don't care about being hurt? And it's like, yeah, good point.
Have problem, losers. Just don't think about the problem. Yeah. Problem solved.
Marcus Aurelius strikes again. The fact that you'd rather be alone than with a man with whom you're compatible. If that were the case, why does this article even exist? There is a lot of confidence in stating and meaning that. It's the type of assurance you want to exclude. That's the type of mindset that makes you feel valuable, not desperate. Or you'll be glad that you waited for the perfect person when the moment arrives. That's right. Or you'll die alone stinking of stale wine. It's your choice.
If you enjoyed that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, you can go to prelotuseaters.com and get access to all our premium content.
Things like our book club, where we examine classics like Aldous Huxley's Brave New World and examine the themes that underpin it, and now we're getting worryingly close to that, or modern books like Mark Sidwell's The Long March, which is how exactly we ended up in the current cultural situation we're in and what conservatives can do about it. Or you can check out the other series we have, such as our Contemplation series, where Hugo and Josh decided to, in the latest one, have a look at an examination on the ways that other elections have been rigged. for no reason at all. Or you can check out our Epoch series, which is one of my personal favorites because this is where I get to talk about history. And I love talking about just random things from history. And one of the great things we can do with this series is talk about those things that aren't so often discussed. So, I mean, you can talk about Xerxes' army, the vast army that invaded Greece during the Greco-Persian Wars. Or we can go through things like Herodotus' view on the Scythians. Who are they? You probably don't know, but they used to be quite an important people a long time ago, and they're very, very interesting. We've got some really good reports about them. Or we've got premium podcasts, which is things we generally don't want to put outside of the paywall because we might get in trouble from, such as the list of things that Alex Jones was right about. Or we do just very interesting discussions because there are things that we do lots of work on. Another one is that I'm particularly proud of is where Christopher Hitchens, the famous new atheist, would have fallen during the modern culture wars, because he probably wouldn't have been very woke. But we also have lots of interviews and articles and other things on the website that you can sign up to enjoy, and we're really proud of them.
So if any of that sounds good to you, go over to lotuses.com and sign up for as little as £5 a month to support us, keep the show going, and also to get access to all the content. Thank you and goodbye.